The email arrived at 6:12 a.m., not early enough to feel urgent, not late enough to ignore. Subject: quarterly performance summary available. I didn't open it right away. I brushed my teeth, poured coffee, watched the city wake up through the apartment window. I'd been at the company almost 9 years. I knew how these things went. Metrics, charts, carefully worded encouragement. When I finally clicked, the dashboard loaded slowly, like it was thinking. My overall rating was green, exceeds expectations. I smiled. Just a little. The breakdown was solid. Project completion, above average. Peer feedback, strong. Client satisfaction, consistent, nothing alarming. But at the bottom of the page, beneath the graphs, there was a new section I hadn't seen before. Trajectory indicator. It was yellow. Hover text appeared when I moved the cursor. Employee growth velocity is trending below optimal. I reread it. Growth velocity. I forwarded the email to myself and closed the laptop. At the office later that morning, no one mentioned it. My manager, Rachel, nodded as usual when I passed her desk. "Morning," she said. "How's the Thompson account?" "Wrapped yesterday," I said. "Sent final files." "Great," she said, already typing again. At lunch, I asked a coworker if she'd seen the new dashboard section. She frowned. "Trajectory what?" I showed her on my phone. She shrugged. "Ha, I don't have that." That was the first moment I felt it. A small, quiet shift. Like discovering a room in your house that only appears for you. The following week, my meeting invites changed. Still there, still full days. But the ones that shaped decisions, roadmap planning, budget alignment, no longer included me. When I asked Rachel about it, she smiled. "Oh, those," she said. "They're just exploratory." "Exploring what?" "Future configurations," she said. "Nothing to worry about." I nodded. That was the language here. Words that sounded harmless until you lived inside them. The next performance check-in was brief. "You're doing good work," Rachel said. "Consistent, reliable." She paused. "I'd love to see more stretch," she added. "Stretch how?" I asked. "Ownership, initiative, visibility. I lead to major accounts," I said. "I mentor 3 juniors." "Yes," she said, "but some of that is expected at your level." I didn't know how to respond to that. The meeting ended with a smile and a calendar reminder for next quarter. 2 weeks later, my access changed. Not revoked, just adjusted. I noticed when I couldn't open a shared drive I'd used for years. "Must be a glitch," IT said. "We'll look into it." They restored partial access. Some folders remained locked. "Those are archived projects," the ticket response read. No action needed, except one of them wasn't archived. I was still working on it. When I brought it up again, the reply was different. "Access aligned with current role scope." Role scope. I checked my title. Unchanged. Salary. Unchanged. Benefits. Unchanged. Everything that could prove I still belonged was intact. Except the work itself. Colleagues stopped looping me in. Not deliberately, not unkindly. They'd say things like, "Oh, I thought you knew," or "Didn't realize you were still on that." Still, one afternoon, an internal posting went live. A senior role, practically written for me. I applied. The rejection came the next morning. "We've decided to move forward with candidates whose trajectories align more closely with our long-term needs." I stared at the word, trajectory. I scheduled time with Rachel. She sighed when I mentioned the role. "I wondered if you'd apply," she said. "Listen, this isn't about performance. Then what is it about?" I asked. She folded her hands carefully. "Future adaptability," she said. "The system looks at patterns." "What system?" "Our talent optimization model." I waited. "It aggregates data," she continued. "Skills velocity, learning uptake, cross-functional influence. According to whom? She smiled, according to outcomes. I left the meeting with the same job, the same desk, and the unmistakable sense that something irreversible had already happened. That night, I logged into the internal learning portal. A banner appeared at the top. Recommended for you. Reinvention pathways. I hadn't searched for it. It had found me. The courses weren't mandatory, just suggested. Preparing for career transitions, redefining professional identity resilience in times of change. I closed the tab. The following month, my calendar thinned, not empty, just lighter. Tasks I once owned were reassigned for efficiency. A junior analyst started attending meetings in my place. She apologized the first time. I think this was a mistake, she said. It's fine, I told her. It wasn't her fault. It was no one's fault. That was the brilliance of it. There was never a moment to argue against. No decision to appeal, just a gradual narrowing. At the quarterly all-hands, the CEO spoke about evolution. We have to be honest about where we're going, he said. And who's best positioned to go there with us? The camera panned across smiling faces. I wondered if anyone else felt the same quiet displacement, or if the system had isolated us too efficiently to notice one another. My final review of the year arrived in December, still green, still positive. But now there was a red marker beneath the trajectory line, projected contribution plateau. I printed the page. I wanted something physical. Proof that I wasn't imagining it. When I requested a formal explanation from HR, the response was prompt and polite. You are not under any disciplinary action, the email said. There are no plans to terminate your employment. Relief should have followed. Instead, I felt something colder. Because termination would have been an ending. This was suspension. I stopped receiving new projects entirely in January. Weeks passed. I attended meetings where my role was to listen. Sometimes no one spoke to me at all. On my 9th work anniversary, an automated message appeared in the company chat. Join us in celebrating 9 years with my name. Dozens of emojis followed, claps, confetti, fireworks. Rachel sent a thumbs up. That afternoon, I was asked to document my processes for continuity. I understood then. They weren't pushing me out. They were making me unnecessary. My resignation letter sat in drafts for days. When I finally sent it, the response came within minutes. We're sorry to see you go, HR wrote. Your decision aligns with your recent trajectory indicators. I closed the laptop and stared at the wall. They never fired me. They never criticized me. They never said I wasn't good enough. They just decided quietly, mathematically, that my future value had already peaked. And once the system agrees on that, no amount of good work can change it.